So this next bit is a little bit confusing. If you look at what our author says, many lenders will add in upfront fees. That's like the cost to borrow the money. What they call it origination fees if you're thinking about student loans. And then they spread that cost out over the lifetime of the car or the lifetime of the loan. So you're often paying more than what you're initially expecting to pay. And so by law, um, loan sharks, folks that lend you money, have to talk about an annual percentage rate that includes that. So this table kind of summarizes that. We're going to use it in just a second and talk about what it means. So on page 237, we're looking at the procedure for computing APR. Here's a little formula, and then we go back to the table and find things from there. So let's just do it for a particular problem. So we're going to find the finance charge per $100 for that loan we did back in question 1. Well, what we need is the information we got from there. We need what was the finance charge. So the finance charge, remember, that was the difference between the amount we paid for the car and the actual cost of the car. That ended up being $1,852. And then the amount financed was the amount of money we had to borrow from the bank. And that was the difference of the down payment and the price of the car, which was $9,260. So if we're going to find the cost per $100, we simply divide these two values and multiply by $100. So we do 1,852 divided by 9,260 and then multiply that whole thing by 100. So let's switch to Desmos and do that calculation. Here's the 1,852 divided by 9,260. So that's 0.2. When we multiply by 100, we get $20. So what we're saying is the finance charge per $100 is $20. Every $100 we borrow, we're going to get charged $20 to do that. So now we're going to go back to the table, and we're going to look at the row corresponding to the 48 months because that's the length of the loan. And we're going to find the two entries that are closest to this $20. So let me flip the page. Here it is. We're going to go to that 48 months, and we're looking for where's the $20 mark. It's in between here, these two numbers. Notice that corresponds to a 9% APR and a 9.5% APR. What we could do is just say, oh, $20 is almost in the middle of that. So let's just take the 9 and the 9.5, add them together, and divide by 2. In other words, let's calculate the average of that. So back to Desmos, and we do 9 plus 9.5. Notice I put parentheses, divided by 2. So we're going to call this a 9.25 APR. In other words, the amount of interest we're charged over the lifetime of this loan per year is going to be 9.25%. That's an estimate. It's not the exact value, as if you read back through that paragraph, he says it's very complicated calculating APR, so we're just kind of ignoring it and doing this calculation using the table.